A lot of like, let's get together and talk about what we're working on versus like, I want to be here with you right now.
I love it. Oh, I have chills. The immediacy is so juicy and delicious. I hear you. It's funny that you reference this sort of like doldrums of the wellness space, sometimes the treadmill of always needing to like heal something, fix something, work through something. And the immediacy of the embodiment practice that you're talking about is like really like touches exactly what we're hoping to be conjuring and aligning with in everything that has to do with the cosmic hunt. The moment of allowing for like what is and getting to like joyfully juice into, celebrate, participate in, and be with that, versus the sort of like projection into what we think things should be or how we're trying to make them or what we're working on becoming. um yeah, nice. Thank you. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it too. I never quite said it like that. And even just talking about it, it feels really efficient. Like what else, you know?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, the efficiency. I feel like, okay, I also want to juice into the efficiency aspect of it too with the cosmic cunt because I feel like the word cunt does a lot really fast in terms of like, first of all, like a litmus test of like, is this for you? Is this not for you? And are you going to juice into this immediately? Does this require a PhD thesis in order for you to get over what's in the way for you of participating this and feeling this thing? If so, that's great. But now we already know, boom, done, handled. And it really makes it easy to for the people who get through that little litmus test to like jump right in the immediacy that we're talking about. So
so
now segueing for a moment into this conversation of the event that we're producing,
yes.
and that you're uh, joining us in bringing
Yes.
forth. Country Club is our Thursday night dance party slash art showcase slash culinary experience, this Thursday the 21st coming up.
Yeah.
And it's one of these situations where it's a bit uh, there's a bit of trembling putting that forth into the very competitive economic nightlife environment of New York City. Um, it's a Thursday night. We're not even taking over a weekend. It's not even a private
Yeah.
space, and so kind of like having the bravery to put forth this very quirky, particular, strange creation, in the faith that for the people who want to have a pussy party in costume and be handed hors d'oeuvres of fancy vegan sushi alongside fried chicken and all the wild things that we have planned. Um, yeah, that's for the weirdos at the edge to come and get their 10.
Mm,
And having
yeah.
faith that like when we gather around that kind of enthusiasm, that there's like more than enough for us. It's like doesn't need to be watered down into some broader
Right.
marketable thing.
Uh,
Um, the scale of the intimate is really attractive to me, as a place to like feel safe and feel like you can really relate. Um, Something like a party like this is in between, right? And I think what we are striving to do energetically is to maintain the thread of intimacy and of closeness and of vulnerability that we get out of those like more smaller events and be able to hold a container large enough for a whole, dance party's worth of people juicing into that together.
I love it. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah. Yeah. When there's intensity, it's like intimate could be a lot of people because everybody's into it, you know?
Can you share with us a little bit about the meditation that you're going to be offering?
Yeah. So I love meditation as doing one thing at a time, which to me means like being totally present. And, we all have, let's say we have this instrument within us, and let's just call it a painter today. And like I always paint with red and yellow and green. Like I'm positive, I'm happy, I'm intense. But what about grief and sadness and unsureness? Do I paint with those colors? So this meditation is a very short visit into very hand selected emotions that we're going to play with that can be avoided. Like I like to play with joy, longing, rage, and grief. Those
Mm-hmm.
and so rage, easy for me, not a problem. I can do a scene with rage, I can play with it, I can tone it down, I can make it big. Grief, I'm like, oh my God. It's like, who's going to be there? Are there going to be tissues? Like, I really need some hand holding. And what we do as adults is we stay in emotions for a long time. It's like, oh, I've been sad for 3 months. But my background is to work with children, and they have emotions and they pass all the time. It's not a big deal. Like they're angry, ugh, now they're okay. And so we're going to do a meditation that embodies each one of those four emotions, drop it, go to the next one. And I'm going to guide, I mean, that's a very simple way of saying it, but I'm going to guide everybody into it in connection. And it, in my mind, it looks like four corners, and you visit each emotion, very few words, and then you release it. And then we'll practice being neutral. And how that translates in life is there's a permission to follow the impulse of an emotion, recognize it, be aware of it, and then be able to check in and be like, is that still here? So I think of a child's impulsivity, they can't get ice cream, they might throw themselves on the floor. And what that looks like in the adult world is, oh, I'm super vegan. And then they get like a little bit of a salad with bacon in it. They're like, that's okay, I'll pick it out. I mean, that's an extreme example, but we sort of make do as adults and we figure out. But as a child, if you got bacon in your salad, you're like, get it away from me, fuck off. But as adults, you know, not everybody. I mean, we're in a pretty expressed community, but there's still little pockets of places where we tolerate. And so when you have a comfort with emotions, it won't scare people because they're like, oh, well, she's mad, but now she's okay. It's not like, oh, they're mad at me. Now the world's going to end for the next 6 months. So it's a way to retrain this artistic muscle of self-expression of our emotions that doesn't have to last. It's like if you have a fight in a relationship, you train your emotional muscle that it doesn't mean that's the way it's going to be for 6 months. It's, yeah.
I'm
I
just
said a
so
lot.
delighted by this.
Yeah.
Okay, in a couple of minutes, but I want to touch on this notion of like, do you give yourself permission to paint with your grief or with your sadness, right? And like this idea of like, if you were an artist and you only ever painted with yellow or green, I'm like, that's fine. That can be like your thing, right?
Right.
But like, in order to really truly explore the fullness of expression, you're going to require those other colors. And that is really at the heart of like why we say cunt in all of this, right? Is like, why is it that? And in this reclamation of the feminine or in the expressions of what we allow ourselves to be, it's not only, you know, the softest, wettest, and juiciest and most inviting or most nurturing, right? Also, sometimes there is this like depth of rage or bitchiness or all of the other ways that there's denigration around the various aspects of it, and a reclamation. All of those ways are part of what we need access to express. Shadow work, right? Of being able to like plunge
Yeah.
forth into those things and make space for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Sexy, invigorating, enlivening. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for us to get to share this with everyone. Um, yeah, thank you so much.